guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassandra here, and today we have our September wrap-up. And my September TBR was very ambitious. Ambitious is a good word. I think I had 14 books that I wanted to read, which let's just scrap that, okay? That was a big list of wishes and wants, and I think I just knew it's not gonna happen. And now today is literally the 30th, so I thought, well, I'm not gonna finish any books today. Sorry, I'm moving my hair because it's the first time I think I'm recording in a ponytail. So anyways, I have read 13 books. Actually, I think it would be like 14th because I'm almost done. There's a couple that I started. I've done quite a bit of reading anyways, but I will show you what I've read, what I've listened to, which actually has been very ambitious audible reading listening month. And yeah, so I'm going to get started as I went. So I was listening to the first one was I got flustered. Okay, so I was listening to a story before last month, and I just continue. So I've listened to Alec, Keelan, Kane, Aideen, Ryder, Damien, and Brothers, which is so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in the whole series. I think there's 2 before that, I want to say, or 1 before that. So I've listened to 6 of those. I've listened to the whole collection, and I must say that the girls' points of view, I think, are the brothers' titles are longer, but they're from the girls' points of view, and then we see it from the other points of view. So as you listen to it, you see the whole perspective or the whole story of what happened between every single character, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 couples. I think there was 8 books in total. So I listened to the whole thing, and I must say by the last one, I just found it a little repetitive, and the story was great, and I really enjoyed it. Like I say, Alec, I gave 3.5. Keela, I gave 3. Kane, I gave 3.5. Then Aideen, I gave 3. Ryder, 3.5. Damien and the brothers, I just didn't really rate. They will be about 3. I recommended it. I think it complemented the entire storyline, but necessarily I don't think I needed to listen to 8. It was all American boys, Irish girls connection. We have Mafia, Hate to Love, unexpected pregnancy, falling in love very quickly, turbulent relationships. So it was great to see all those different dynamics and how people reacted to one another and how they kind of lived with each other later on, and the friends connections and the brothers between themselves and the girls being friends, sisters connecting to the other brothers, just the whole community base. I really enjoyed it, and I had a really great ride, and it was definitely a good start to my month. When it comes to other books, so the only other book that I've read on Kindle that I wanted to say first was Sugar Daddies, which was actually I think it's set in Cheltenham, which is basically what I used to live, because that's where we have a racehorsing events and stuff like that. So it was just weird to read about it because it sounded very American, but anyway, so it's set there, and the girl goes on a website where she's looking for, I'm guessing sugar daddies, and there's 2 guys there in a relationship together, and they want to bring a female, basically to, at some point, hopefully within 6 months, agree to give them a child and hopefully stayed within them, which I feel like 6 months to make up your mind if you, want to be in a romantic relationship with 2 guys, it's a big deal, but also to figure out if you want to give them a child and how that dynamic is going to work was a little bit unrealistic, but we are not here for the realistic. The whole spice that was in there, I actually really enjoyed. I thought that I give it like 3.5 stars. I didn't think it was amazing. It didn't get me going in no ways. Like, there's some books that I'm like, oh, he's my new book husband, okay? Or this is my book bad guy, or whatever. It wasn't like that to me. The storyline was fine. It was fine. It was a cool read, but I wouldn't say that it was my favorite. It was a good read. And then I listened to Unzipped, and that was about a writer. And I want to think I don't think it was that memorable, in my opinion. It was basically a girl, and she was writing this script for the show. And basically, there was a guy that was trying to win his ex-girlfriend back, and he went and he serenaded in front of a window. Unfortunately, it was a wrong window, and he serenaded outside of the writer's window. She, wanted to help him get back with the ex, but he seemed like he would be a great plot for her show. And so they created a friendship, and obviously a love story went from there. I really liked it. It wasn't as steamy. That was more of like a romantic contemporary book, which I usually don't reach out for. But again, it was a free Audible Plus, whatever it is. I listened on that, which I actually find that very helpful, because there's like, I would call it a mediocre books, or maybe not so known books, are there on free, and it just allows me to just listen to something in the background, which gets my book count up, but it also allows me to see what I enjoy and don't enjoy, because if I paid for it, I would be like, okay, I paid, for the next credit and I didn't enjoy it, that would then have more value of, I'll be more critical of it. So that was fine. I thought it was quite funny in certain parts, and I enjoyed it. And then I listened to The Widow, and I only realized that I started listening to it when I picked up the hardback. And Twisted, that was great. So all I'm going to tell you that we have Jean. Life was blissful, ordinary, nice house, nice husband. Glenn was all she's ever wanted, her Prince Charming, but then everything changed. The husband. The newspapers found a new name for Glenn, a monster. They shrieked. Jean was married to a man accused of the unimaginable. And as the years ticked by, with no sign of the little girl he has been accused of taking, their lives were constantly splashed across the front pages. The widow, but now Glenn is dead, and she's alone for the first time, free to tell a story on her own terms. Twisted turned, I didn't know who to believe. I really, really enjoyed, and listening to it was really good. I feel like it might have been even better if I read it, but I do have the hardback if I wanted to reread it, or if anyone wanted to borrow it. I have it, so I can share. One of the books that I read in the beginning of the month was The Touch of Darkness, which was September pick for me and my best friend. And let me tell you, I already won a book too. So we have Persephone and the goddess, which is the goddess of spring, and we have Hades, and we have their love story. So Persephone was always she was born basically with no powers, or her mom made her believe that she had no powers, so she was in a human realm, and the gods exist in that realm, and people know, but they have like glamours and stuff like that. And Hades obviously is a club owner, which, what else would you expect Hades to be? Okay, like, he has to be into something suspicious. And so he basically grants people wishes, and they're like cross paths. No, their paths cross at some point. And we go from there. And oh my goodness, I sent it to my best friend, and I was like, Hades is my new husband. Like, I thought Lucifer was what I wanted. Hades is what I want. So my fiance has a competition now, because Hades. Now, this is what I'm here for. The next one, I don't want to spoil too much, because I thought it was really, really great. And I definitely want to read the second book. The next one, it was Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. And when I was reading this, it was just very weird, because I was on a kick of, every book I've read was almost like something to do with child abuse, which is, it wasn't intentional, but it was like kids being kidnapped, kids, story of David, the child called It. And in here we have two sisters that we see it from a perspective of one boy, but actually it's about this neighbor's girl that she is staying over, because her parents died in a car accident, and there's two girls, older and younger. The younger one is still like in the braces and stuff. So we have this girl, and she is basically with her auntie or someone like that, and the story of how she is being mistreated and what happens to her, and it progresses worse and worse and worse. And Jack Ketchum, if you guys read anything by him, that's my second book, and he is very descriptive. So if you have a very weak stomach, probably not book for you. It was really hard to read, because it's worth remembering that things like that happen, maybe not to this degree, but crazy shit happens from time to time, and it was really hard to read that that could potentially have happened. So, but my twisted bitch side really enjoyed. So I'm not gonna judge myself for it too much because yeah, I don't need to. What else did we read? Tim, Sugar Daddies, we've done this, we've done that. The Marriage Pact. So the Marriage Pact is the next one, and I want to say that I listened to that one as well. Even though I have a paperback, I think I started, or did I read this one? I don't know. I think I flipped between the two. Basically, so we have this couple, and we have Jake and Alice, and Jake and Alice are about to get married, and she works for a law firm, and there's this new guy that works there, I'm like executive or whatever, and he like jokes like, oh, am I going to be invited or whatever. So somehow he gets invited. He sends them a gift, and the gift is basically a box, and the box promises that they will never get divorced. Would they like to partake in the marriage pact? And he basically promises that if they joined a cult, or however you want to say, it's more described like, imagine having a book club for a marriage couple, or like a support group for marriage couples, married couples, and they would work through it. Actually, this is not how it works. The club, it's very, oh, sorry guys, the club or the pact turns out that it's very extreme. So they have certain things such as you shouldn't be working too much, you should be, you have things like a mandatory date night once a month, you exchange a gift, and things like that, which I think are amazing. As a newly engaged person, I was like, great, I love this. But on the flip side, you are sent to jail if you do something wrong. Like, they have their own jail, and it turns out that there's people that have had, been through it, but they have influence all over the world. Like, you have politicians, you have doctors, and you have police officers, and everyone is involved in it, and we just don't know about this existing. Also, it turns out that there's no divorce, but there are people that basically somehow disappeared, and no one ever known. And so we have the story of this entire, of this couple and what happens between them, and it was crazy to realize that it could be. So this marriage pact of like, we're never going to get divorced, but also how far would you go for your partner? How committed are you actually? And it was really, really eye-opening. So reading it from my own, like, I've read it from 3 parts. So I've read it from a fiance part, which, yeah, of course, I would like to be married forever. Second part was my counseling hat, and kind of like the psychology part of it. And the last part of me was just like, this is some crazy ass shit. Like, it was just so weird, but I also really, really enjoyed it. It was so insightful. And what if that happened? Loved it. So that is everything that I've read. I've read also, I'm almost done with Attached, which is all about attachment theory and adult attachments, which if you guys want to see a video on things that are maybe non-fiction, I might do a little series on that. Second, I've read a book on CBT, so cognitive behavior therapy, so one of those, and I've started a new one, which is a big book, but I think I'm going to put it on pause right now. I just don't fancy it, and it gives me like 0 reading time, so I will be swapping it. I have no reading list yet for this month. I might pick 4 books that I would like to read this month, so we are going from like a lot of books to very little books, and see how that goes. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a while since I recorded a video. I want to say about 3 weeks, which I had pre-recorded videos, but it's nice to be back. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, let me know what was your favorite read of this month. My one, I can't even complain. Like, I can't even lie. Touch of Darkness was definitely my favorite read of the month. So let me know what was yours, and until the next time, I will talk to you guys soon.